From the surface, scientists could hear something coming from the hole. What they heard caused most of the crew to quit on the spot.
They flew a drone into Yemen's Well of Hell, and what it captured terrified the entire world. Not because it confirmed the ancient myths, but because it shattered them completely. For centuries, this massive, gaping hole in the desert of eastern Yemen has been a place locals feared. A cursed pit believed to be the prison of jinn, demons, or something far worse. Stories of poisoned air, strange lights, and whispers from the void kept even the bravest away. No one really knew what lay inside until now. In September of 2021, a team of Omani cave explorers did the unthinkable. They didn't just approach the Well of Barhout, they entered it. Some rappelled down its walls while others stayed behind to fly a drone deep into the Earth's open wound. What they found defied centuries of terrifying legends. And when the footage surfaced, the world couldn't look away. This is the true story of what lies beneath Yemen's Well of Hell. Get ready for it. The hole that shouldn't exist. A near-perfect circle wide enough to swallow a skyscraper sits in the middle of the Yemen desert. Silent, ancient, and utterly out of place. This is the Well of Barhout. Locals call it something simpler, yet more ominous. The Well of Hell. Located in Yemen's Al-Mara province, not far from the Oman border, the sinkhole is massive. Roughly 100 feet wide and over 360 feet deep. But it's not just its size that makes it disturbing. It's the complete mystery that has surrounded it for thousands of years. There are no signs of construction surrounding it. No tools, no carvings, and no records of it ever being dug. The edges are too perfect, the location too isolated. And for centuries, people have avoided it like a cursed wound in the earth, afraid to even get close. The fear isn't random. Generations of Yemens believed this hole was a gateway to the underworld. According to legend, this is where evil jinn, supernatural spirits mentioned in the Quran, were banished. The stories say that anyone who gets too close might hear them whispering, calling them down. Some say birds avoid flying over it. Others swear animals refuse to go near it. A few claim to have seen lights moving in the darkness at night. Lights with no explanation. But what truly adds to its fearsome reputation is the Prophet Muhammad's hadith, which warns of a place where the worst water on earth comes from. Many believe this refer to Barhout. Local folklore warns that the air at the bottom is deadly, that corpses dropped and are never seen again, and that no one who enters the pit survives. For centuries, no one did. Despite Yemen's rich geological and cultural history, the Well of Hell was largely undocumented by modern science. Even satellite maps showed little detail. No expeditions ever took place, and no official studies were conducted. Not even proper measurements have been taken. Just silence. A blank space in one of the hottest, driest, and most remote regions of the Arabian Peninsula. But that all changed in late 2021 when a team of Omani explorers decided to do what no one else dared. Go in. With the help of drones, ropes, and sheer courage, they launched a mission that would finally peel back the layers of myth and reveal what truly waited inside. But no one expected what they found to be so different from what the world believed. Because when the footage surfaced, it wasn't horror that terrified everyone. It was how wrong we had been in our beliefs about the Well of Hell. Legends, curses, and the Prophet's warning. Long before drones, cameras, or climbing gear, the Well of Barhout was already famous, but not for reasons anyone would want to celebrate. To locals, this wasn't just a hole. It was a forbidden zone, a place where the natural laws of the earth and sky seemed to bend. Parents warned their children never to go near it. Travelers avoided it, even if it meant going miles out of their way. The fear was generational, passed down in whispered stories and half-remembered warnings. Some of the earliest legends claimed the well was created by God to imprison demons, a sort of supernatural abyss meant to contain evil. That belief isn't isolated either. In Islamic tradition, particularly among Yemen scholars, there are mentions of Beirut being a cursed location. According to some hadiths, the Prophet Muhammad referenced a place in Yemen where the worst water on earth could be found. Though not named explicitly, many believe he was describing this place. It didn't take long for those religious references to evolve into folk tales. People said the well wasn't just cursed, it was alive. Locals told stories of dark winds that would suck in animals and invisible voices that would call out at night. Some believed the jinn, beings made of smokeless fire mentioned in the Quran, were cast into the hole as punishment. Others believed it was a place where angels refused to descend, and that even prayers were rejected near its edge. Even geological features added to the fear, the smell. Explorers and villagers alike described a strange, siluric stench rising from the pit, especially at midday. Many believed this was the smell of death, or even of burning jinn trapped below. Some said birds flew over but never returned. Others told of explorers who went missing in the desert after stepping too close. Yet with all that, no one had actually been inside. That's what made the Well of Hell so powerful. It wasn't the facts that made people afraid. It was the unknown. All anyone had were legends and warnings. And that's exactly why the world was stunned when a modern team finally decided to investigate it for real. Because what if the myths were true? What if this ancient hole in Yemen's desert really did contain something that should never be found? And what if the footage captured inside proved everything wrong? The Omani Caves exploration team didn't just want to film a deep hole. They wanted answers. But as they packed their gear and crossed the border into Yemen, they didn't realize that what they were about to uncover would silence centuries of superstition and raise even more questions. Arrival at the edge of the abyss. It was September 2021. The sky was clear. The air was dry and biting. And in the middle of Yemen's vast desert, 7 men stood at the edge of a mystery the world had only ever feared from afar. The Omani Caves exploration team, the OSET, had come prepared. Their convoy of 4-wheel drives rolled to a slow stop just yards from the hole's rim. The ground was cracked and sun-baked, brittle beneath their boots. But it wasn't the terrain that gave them pause. It was the feeling of strange weight in the air, as if the atmosphere itself shifted near the edge. Muhammad al-Kindi, a geology professor and the team's leader, had studied caves all over the Arabian Peninsula. But this was different. The Well of Bar didn't just feel ancient. It felt untouched, like something that had never meant to be disturbed. They unloaded their gear in silence. Ropes, helmets, harnesses, gas monitors, and most importantly, a compact, high-res drone system that would serve as their eyes in the dark. The plan was simple, at least on paper. 3 members would descend by rope. The others would remain above to fly the drone deeper than ropes could reach. It was risky, but it was the only way to get full visual documentation of the well's interior without descending all the way to the bottom. Before going in, the team moved cautiously around the rim.